If you turn it, if you like switch this, and maybe it'll be a little smaller and pull tug on your face.
Do what?
Do you mind if I come
No,
closer?
no. Wait a minute, hold on.
We're waiting.
Go ahead.
So if you twist it like this.
Okay.
I don't want to pull your hair.
Go ahead, do what you gotta do.
Is that better?
Oh, yes. Now I know.
Sorry. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
All right. That's a lot better, thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay, Mike Farr,
Here.
Steve Churchill, so far absent. Dave DeLaylis,
Here.
Doug Avery,
Present.
Don Dyson.
Here.
Here, we have a quorum.
We have a quorum.
You please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance and a moment of silence.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. I'd like to welcome all of our residents who are watching on Finger Lakes 1. This is a special board meeting to discuss the financial impact of the COVID-19 crisis. The immediate impact is going to start hitting us, and the long-term impact, I'm not quite sure what's going to happen. I don't know.
Somebody's in jail.
Oh? We're going to take a pause for a second. Who the heck would be over there?
Oh, maybe they're in the conference room. Are they in the conference room? Do that.
Mine doesn't work over here.
No, yours won't work there.
Yours work?
I don't know, it's better.
Nobody should be over there.
No? No, mine doesn't either.
Probably coming from over there, police. Probably bringing out a prisoner.
Okay, we'll forget about it. I have no idea.
It might be
I'm
something.
gonna have to get in.
The doors are locked,
Yeah.
as far as I know they are. Oh, wow.
Okay, pause is over. So, the purpose is to discuss the, as I said, the financial impact of the COVID-19 crisis immediately and long-term. Pat, you still there?
Yeah.
Pat?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, I heard a phone ring. I don't know if it was you or me or...
No,
Okay.
it's me, it's in the background.
Okay, so,
Bye, Mike, they just arrested some girl, she's raising hell over there.
oh, what do you got, like, direct?
Jimmy Snyder just got a hold of me, you hear
Oh.
noise.
Got it. Okay, so that was our police department probably,
Yeah.
right? Okay.
Yeah. Girls are fighting one, some girls fighting one.
Got it. Okay, so I've handed the board members a package, just kind of an overview of each of our departments and where we are financially. Obviously, predicting down the road is going to be difficult. The first page outlines our 5 different funds that we have: general fund, community center, highway, water, sewer, and in the 2020 budget, basically almost $3.1 million comes from landfill revenue. Now, so I can explain that so everyone doesn't get confused. That $3.1 million landfill revenue is what was projected from the landfill, and the comptroller says we have to budget that money. So it's been budgeted in those 5 accounts, okay? If it wasn't budgeted in those 5 accounts, then the money would either came out of our reserve counts or it would have an impact on taxes, but it's budgeted in those counts. Water and sewer, for the most part, it's budgeted there for capital improvement projects. So much of the infrastructure that we're doing comes out of that, you know, 580,000 in water, 600,000 in sewer. Okay. The landfill revenue, first quarter payment is due. We haven't received that yet. I talked to the landfill people yesterday, and our revenue for the first quarter is down 50%. So as everyone knows, the host agreement revenue is based on how much tonnage they take in. And based on the COVID crisis, because so much business is not working at the moment, our normal first quarter is down 50%. So normally we get about 900 and some odd thousand for the quarter. That's going to be in the $450,000 range for the first quarter. He's going to send me projections for the second quarter, but he's thinking it's going to be very similar, down about 50% in revenue. Okay? Any questions there? So just the next pages are just, I'm trying to give you an update on where the budget is and the expenditures and so forth and so on, okay? Just trying to give you an idea of where we are, how much revenue is there. Bottom line for all of these is that money is going to be, probably have to be moved out of our reserve funds into the various funds to cover the budget, okay? And again, we have the reserves. It's just not going to be, you know, we're not going to have the amount of reserves that we hope to have as we move forward with the anticipation of the closure of the landfill. So some of those reserves will be cut into based on the fact that A, landfill revenue is going to be down for 2020, and B, the other unknown is we don't know what's going to happen with state aid, okay? Is it going to happen? Are we going to get incentive aid? Or, you know, obviously the state is in serious financial situation just like the rest of us, so we don't know exactly what's going to happen, okay? But there's different scenarios built in here trying to anticipate that our state aid might be lowered or might not come at all, or if it does, there's where we are, type of thing, okay? So I try to give you a narrative explaining each of the different budgets, okay? Trying to explain that type of thing and some potential savings and so forth. I did not include water and sewer because we're going to be okay in water and sewer. There's going to be enough money in the fund without, if we take away the landfill money, for now, even if we did that, we don't have to grab money out of our reserves or tax stabilization account to cover. We'll be okay with water and sewer. It just doesn't mean you might not be able to do some of the major projects that we're talking about. Okay, so that might be on hold temporarily. Okay, having a tough time with the mask. So water and sewer is going to be okay. Community center, Bev talked to Jim as far as some of the ideas that he had and for potential savings. So that's there on your 5th page of the packet, I believe, just to give you some ideas. Okay. Vince's Park I brought up, which is on the 6th page. I brought up in last month's meeting. I'd like to talk about that tonight, and if you want to wait until May, I understand, but I really think that I'd still like to not open up Vince's Park this year based on 2 things. One, the crisis, and should we be opening up a public facility and a pool based on what's going on, and 2, it's a financial hit to the town. Okay? And you'll see a narrative under there, some of the expenditures on Vince's Park, which I think I sent this to you a while ago, or last week sometime, for you to look at.
Do you want to talk about things as we go, or?
No, go ahead. I'm just trying to give you an overview.
We had talked about with Vince's Park, just closing the pool. We were going to get some figures about that. Is that not a viable alternative?
Just closing the pool?
Just close the pool.
Yeah, that's definitely one of the options, okay? One of the other options was close the pool, keep the pavilion open,
Right.
because he had some booked events in there, and it kind of like a break-even type of ordeal, not 100% break-even, but pretty close to break-even. So certainly you could do that type of thing. Yeah.
He sent us that operation finance information with some scenarios, 1, 2, and 3. He emailed us, so.
From Jim.
Jim did, yeah.
Yeah.
So.
Yep. So I incorporated those into what I gave you. Yeah, I think he gave us 3 different scenarios.
I think scenario 3, like Doug said, close the pool but allow rental of the pavilion and shelters. Or employing project cuts, scenario 2, those project cuts are almost 49,000, so.
And we're, obviously we're still have to mow the lawn and still upkeep the property, and you just can't abandon it, but it gives us an opportunity to save a significant amount of money by not opening the pool. And again, who knows? I mean, you got to plan for that stuff, and I don't know if it's going to be a safe situation to open it. I don't know. The biggest thing with highway, I think we need to take a look at is the highway, refurbishing program that we do, which is funded by a grant called CHIPS, but that money doesn't come back to the town until the following year. So whatever you spend, I think there's $339,000 for road reconstruction this year. That money doesn't come back to the town until 2021. So we fund it out of our general fund for the current fiscal year. And then in 2021, it gets deposited back into, the account for 2020 expenditures. Again, will that money be there? I don't know. That's
Well, we should get CHIPS money from last year's payment.
We already have CHIPS money from last year, okay? And that's there.
So we could conceivably just do as much paving as that money will allow.
Okay, correct. But with the prospect that it might not come back the following year to pay for it.
Well, that's
You know what I'm saying?
no matter what.
Just a prospect, who knows, okay? But if you, and again, we don't have to make decisions on paving tonight or something. I think it's important that you guys take a look at this between now and the regular board meeting, and we can make some hard decisions on stuff like that at the regular board meetings. But I just wanted to make you aware of it, type of thing, okay? The thing with CHIPS, we would have to, because it's in the regular budget, we would have to fund the highway department out of reserves, even with the CHIPS money that's in there. If you look at the highway department, there's $528,000 on hand. Set aside for bridge repair, that's a different story. We try to put money in there because we know we need some work on the Veterans Bridge or the Rumsey Street Bridge. Accounts payable, which is money already expended. Equipment, blah, blah, blah. So questionable state aid is $249,000, which is the CHIPS money. So as you can see, cash available is $590. We would have to move some money over to finish the year out, type of thing. So $266,000 would have to be moved over if we just did everything we plan on doing with the roads, etc. Okay. Okay, so again, I'm just trying to give you an overview. I don't expect you to obviously comprehend everything tonight. That's not the point. 2 points, or one major point tonight. With the financial situation, I'd like to start some layoffs or furloughs within the town. A furlough is really the right terminology, but according to what they tell me, municipalities can't call it a furlough, it's a layoff. But whatever the purpose, okay? We have anywhere between 15 and 18 people who have been deemed non-essential by the state's definition, So when we had to cut our workforce down, these non-essential people have been home, okay? They're not working from home, but we are still paying them, okay? And that's been since March 15th. I'd like to, in the spirit of trying to save the town as much money as we possibly can, lay these people off, okay? We're not dismissing them. We would be laying them off temporarily until we're able to come back to full force and full operations. They would still receive their benefits. If they're receiving health care benefits, they would still receive their health care benefits. They would not be, their retirement would not be jeopardized. Their seniority would not be jeopardized, okay? It would just be a layoff, and they would be collecting unemployment, and the unemployment for many of these people, with the federal support of unemployment, in addition to the states, many of these people would be financially not at a disadvantage. Many of them would be making more money on unemployment than they would be collecting their salary. That's a whole other story that we won't get into. But anyway, so we're not putting these people at a disadvantage. The last thing I want to do is put any of our employees at a financial disadvantage during this crisis. It's just a matter of trying to save the town as much money as we can, and these people would be supported through unemployment, through the federal and state programs. Again, depending on how many numbers, but it's between $10,000 and $11,000 per week of payroll savings that we could save, and then we would have to obviously pay unemployment. But with the CARES Act, instead of us contributing 50% of unemployment, so if I'm on unemployment and I'm collecting $400, under the normal rules, the town of Seneca Falls would have to pay $200 for me for my unemployment. Under the CARES Act, that's been reduced in half. So it would cost the town just a quarter, which is obviously $100 on that example.
Now, Mike, what about the people who have like a family plan for the health insurance? I know we're carrying the regular policies, but their portion they would send in, or how would that, you know, the people that
Yep,
have
they
insurance?
would, you know, obviously we payroll deduct from their portion, so as long as they send in their part of the contribution, the health plan would stay intact. So instead of just coming directly out of their paycheck, they would have to say, okay, oh, you know, $100 a week, whatever it is, I have no idea. They would have to send in their contribution to maintain that. And that would all be explained. I've been working on a draft letter that I would send out to the affected people. I would start off with a phone call, personal phone call first, because I'm not a big letter guy and open the mail and, you know, surprise you. I would start off with a personal phone call, explain the situation, followed up by a letter that would detail everything.
And we talked to department heads about,
I have not talked, I've talked to water and sewer. Obviously, police, we can't touch, we can't do anything there. I've talked to water and sewer. I've talked a little bit with highway. And a lot of these people are not necessarily highway or water and sewer. I would be asking highway and sewer and water for probably 2 positions during this crisis. And then everybody else is kind of like within the confines of the town.
The list that you sent us, this is
Yes.
still what you're looking at?
Yep.
okay,
Okay.
so that'd be like water, sewer, assessor, Nikki,
Everybody gets hit.
everybody
Every
that's in
department.
this building.
Yeah. Yeah.
You will talk to us first about who you think should
Oh,
be
absolutely,
furloughed?
absolutely, yeah. I
Okay,
mean,
all right,
If we
yeah,
move
because
forward, I would sit down and say, Nikki,
Yeah, that's fine.
this person, that person, you know, type of
Right,
thing.
right.
No, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
So you do it effective
Monday,
Monday?
which would give me a chance to call them and send out a letter and, you know, so forth.
In terms of the timeline, we've got the one husband and wife. Do they?
I'm sorry?
We've got the one husband and wife.
Yes.
Do they need, I've never,
Well,
gone through employment. I have no idea what the process is.
It wouldn't matter, but that person probably on the water side, sewer side, would not be one of the two people, after my discussion with
Oh,
Joe.
okay, all
Okay.
right. So
It would be,
Somebody else.
All right. Yeah, if you're looking for a motion, or?
well, I just, yeah, we should,
I think we have to do this.
I second.
It's distasteful, but we have to.
okay. So, I will make a motion that we put into effect a temporary layoff for some of our non-essential employees effective Monday, April 27th. And these employees would still be provided all of their benefits and
Yeah, and let me just,
yeah, go ahead, Pat, thank you, I forgot you were there.
Yeah, no, it's fine, just as long as, and like you laid out, that, the accruals, the retirement, and the healthcare benefits remain unaffected during this period of the layoff, and that keeps, that's consistent with the executive orders that came to put the workplace restrictions in place in the first place.
Correct.
And that was a condition of the whole thing, so as long as the town, is consistent with that, then you're good with the executive orders. This is simply a matter of the size of the town's workforce, which is now restricted. So and the workforce needs to be paid for,
Sure.
and which we can't do all the time. So as long as that's maintained, then you're on the right side of these executive orders and
Right.
the civil service law and all the things we need to be keep in mind.
And I've checked with the county, Chris Wagner, Personnel Director at the county, and told them my plans and told them some of the positions we're looking at, and he said, you're good to go from the civil services perspective, so, okay?
Good.
Okay, so Nikki, can you read back my motion I didn't do very well on?
Let's see. Let me find it. Oops, how many pages here? Motion that we put into effect a temporary layoff for some of non-essential employees effective Monday. These employees will still be provided all of their benefits. That's all I have right now.
Is that good enough, Pat?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, so I need a second on that one.
And they're gonna have, we better add in there that they're gonna have to pay their part of their insurance if
Yeah.
they don't have to pay it, right?
Do I need to include that in the motion, Pat? That they have to?
I did not catch that part from
Dave suggested, should we add to the motion that they have to contribute their portion of their health insurance?
So they would be maintaining the contribution that they have now.
Correct.
Uh,
Is that necessary in the motion?
I don't think it's necessary in the motion because it's just not changing anything, but it certainly can be to clarify that it's just really maintaining the status quo in relation to
Yeah.
healthcare
So why
and
don't
all
we,
the
yeah.
other accruals.
What do you
Okay.
want to put?
Just put, maintain the status quo for health insurance benefits,
Perfect.
which includes, obviously, them
For
contributing.
health insurance benefits.
Right.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay?
Okay, got it.
Okay. Can I get a second?
Second.
Second. Don? Any other discussion we need to have?
I don't think so. So you're gonna meet with the department chair people to
Yes.
finalize the list and you
Yep.
place them,
Yep.
this person's in, this person's out. Okay. So I said it's distasteful, but it's necessary.
Yep. And again, it's temporary. This is
Yeah,
nothing
yeah.
long-term. It's, hopefully it lasts 2 weeks and that's it. That would be my, hopefully, goal type of thing. Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? That's carried 4-0. Okay. And then, between now and May, whatever, I'd like to come back and make some hard decisions, especially about Vince's Park. Give you time to look at it, research it. If you have any questions, send me an email or call me. But, you know, I think by May, we should make a decision that's only fair for planning purposes for Parks and Recreation, staffing, et cetera, but I think May, we can make that decision in May.
Yeah. We should, if not tonight, it needs to be then, because not just from our standpoint, but also, you know, the people who look to that for employment
Right.
for the summer, they're gonna be out of luck.
Hey, by the looks of things, it's gonna be, so we'll have options, we can do it like we're doing right now, for our May meeting. We can video stream it, if nobody's comfortable with this, we can do like we did back at our April meeting, with a virtual meeting type of thing. If this works for everybody, I prefer this way, but if not, we'll do what we wanna do.
Yeah, this works.
If this works for you guys?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
I think
Just
it's
got
okay.
Steve missing out on what's going on with him.
Yep, something, much, maybe going on, so. Okay, anything else for the good of the order? Could I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
So moved.
Second.
Second. We're adjourned.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you.
Pat, thank you.
Thanks, Pat.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Jim, thank you.
Hey, John, that was nice. I wish they were all like that. 1, 2, 3, 25 minutes. Whoa!
Don't even think
That's
about
only
it.
a page. It's okay.
Still making up some of those records.